Hi everyone, my name's Leyla and my poem's called Dear John Berger, but I realise not everyone will know who John Berger is. Can I have a whoop if you know who he is? Oh, nice, academics, I like it. Yeah, John Berger was an art critic and a poet and a painter and just a hot guy in the past. And I wrote this poem to him. He'd written a book called Ways of Seeing back in the 70s, and it was all about how paintings in the past had always had women looking out of the painting where men were always looking to each other. And I found that fascinating, that women were always aware of the viewer, and his argument is that women in life always have to be aware of how they are seen and how they are watched. So I wanted to write him a letter, but unfortunately he's dead. But I'm hoping we can maybe bring him into the sphere now. I don't know, I didn't plan this bit, I'm sorry. I'll just do the poem. Dear John Berger, my name is Leyla, and I would like to invite you to my celebrity, dead or alive, dinner party. I'm a big fan of your work, especially your book/BBC documentary, Ways of Seeing. John, I wanted to ask you some questions. If no one is looking at me, do I still exist? My boyfriend has moved out and I'm not sure anymore. I run a bath, but when I get in, the water doesn't ripple. Now he's gone, I only answer to me, but I'm going straight to voicemail. John, you said, whilst a woman is walking alone, or whilst she is weeping at the death of her father, she can scarcely avoid envisaging herself walking or weeping. John, how did you know I wept over my father's death? How did you know I have walked across many rooms, once IRL and then again in my head as a stuffy critic? John, how did you get so smart? John, you said, a woman is almost always accompanied by her own image of herself. Then why the fuck do I still feel so lonely? I've been leaving the house to be seen more often. I go to coffee shop chains. They are the perfect place to pretend to be a real person. I go through the motions, order a chai latte, chip and pin, pat the collie under the table, tap on my laptop like it means something. Little girls are always the first to notice me, John. In fact, one is staring at me right now. Her eyes are telescopes searching for a future self. I want to tell her, stop. It's a trap. I want to tell her, don't look at me, I don't know how to be a woman. I want to whisper to her, the hairier I am, the sexier I feel. But I don't. I just stare back. It's good practice. When I was small, my dad would make me do little tricks for his workmates in the pub. I learned that eyes were valuable, that oily hands would clap if I twirled fast enough. John, I could make grown men light up like puggy machines. I don't remember the Shania Twain incident at the primary school Stars in Your Eyes talent show, but I know I was on brand. I know I wore a leopard print leotard and a top hat. I know I gyrated on a chair and told everyone afterwards I had caught the fame bug. The next day, the teacher announced to the class that I was a show-off. Is there anything worse than somebody calling you a show-off? It makes me want to crawl into my own stomach and die there. Maybe that's what I should tell the little girls. Being a good woman means showing off, but never so much that someone might notice. John, I hate to admit it, but I love being seen. It comforts me to know I am in the backgrounds of lots of strangers' photographs. I like fucking musicians, then pretending their songs are about me. I am only helpful to other writers so I can get into the acknowledgement sections of their books. I lost a diary once, and a sidekick told me a small man with a small name took it. I don't remember what was in the diary, but I know it wasn't meant for the small man with the small name, and now he knows me intimately in a way that nobody else does. It used to keep me up at night, this thought, but now it is chamomile. John, if a woman comes alone, does a tree fall in a forest? John, the house is so empty, I can hear the glass in the windows breathe. John, if a man broke in and held a hammer to my head, I might kiss him. John, what do you use to make your hair so soft? I wish I could touch it. John, I'm sure your eye contact would be second to none. I'm sure your eyes would linger over my braless tits, over the pita breads in a respectful way, of course. John, I bet you drink an old-fashioned, don't you, John? If you say yes, I'll get the bitters in. John, our dinner party could be so special if our legs touch under the table. I bet I will ripple, John. I wonder how he remembers me. I wonder if he remembers the way his pupils would open up like rocket ships. John, maybe you could paint me naked no nude. Maybe we'll send it to him. Maybe he'll hang it on his walls. Let my acrylic eyes meet his distant ones. John, embalm me, paint me like one of your French girls. Paint me holding a mirror. Maybe he'll call it vanity. Let him, we'll call it a woman's corner. John, please come over. I'd like to scoop out your eyes with a fork. I'd like to keep them by my bed in a small red velvet box. I'd like to take them out from time to time. Watch you, watch me, glaze over my body, make me a sight to be seen again. Maybe this is something we can discuss at dinner. Kind regards, Leyla. P.S. Would you mind stopping off at Iceland and picking up a Viennetta? Thank you so much.
So there's a lot of debate going there. Happily, though, I live with a wife and 2 daughters, and very often her sister and my 2 nieces come over to the house, so I'm used to losing arguments. I really am. This category brings together well-known names as well as newer voices, and it makes clear that poetry is thriving on our stages as well as on our bookshelves. This one was a really tough call, but what stood out to us about the winning poem was like the poet's really confident performance, which I'm sure you'd agree with, as well as the sharp wit and the incisive critique of sexism. It was a perfect match all round, really. Receiving their prize from the founder of the Forward Prizes, William Seagart, the winner of the Jerwood Prize for single poem performed is Leyla Josephine for Dear John Berger.
Absolutely brilliant.
Oh my goodness!
Aren't you clever?
Thank you so much.
Well bloody done.
Thank you.
There we go. Show that to everyone and say thank you.
Thank you so much. Also, like, all the poets here and all the poets that I get to perform with all the time just inspire me all the time. So thank you so much. Oh my God. Don't cry. Okay, so I want to thank my mum who's here today, who always told me I could do whatever I wanted, which I think she maybe regretted a few times, but I think we make it work. And I want to thank my mentor, Kim Adonisio, and Colin Bramwell and Jeanette Ayechi, who all helped me with this poem. I want to thank Forward. I got a Forward book back in 2014 when I was working in a restaurant, and I remember reading it and being like, oh, I don't think my poetry fits here. And here we are, so that's really cool. This means so much as a dyslexic writer as well, and if I can do it, all of you can. Thank you so much, and thanks to the judges and Forward, and thanks. That's great. Cheers.